Welcome back to The Wandering Screen. I'm Matt Koss, and today I'm looking at Twinless starring Dylan O'Brien and why he might be an underdog this upcoming award season. Let's dive in. Twinless has shot right up into one of my favorite films of the year, and honestly, it completely blindsided me. Winner of the Sundance Audience Award, it's a movie that sneaks in with a deceptively simple setup and then hits you with one of the most remarkable performances of the year from Dylan O'Brien. And funnily enough, it's for playing twins. We've just seen Michael B. Jordan tear it up in Sinners in a dual role, and now O'Brien joins that conversation with a performance that's layered and absolutely riveting. Twinless is about the unlikely friendship between Roman O'Brien, a grieving 20-something who's recently lost his twin brother, and Dennis, James Sweeney, a desperately lonely, aspiring artist. Their bond forms over the death of Roman's brother, Rocky, who died suddenly and tragically, but as their friendship deepens, hard truths start to emerge. Roman struggles with guilt over his tumultuous relationship with Rocky, who happened to be gay, and in a twist that complicates everything, Dennis once had a one-night stand with him. What director and writer James Sweeney does so brilliantly is that he plays with perspective. He isn't afraid of sharp edits, of cutting hard into scenes to catch you off guard. Even the decision to hold back the opening credits until 20 minutes in is deliberate. He wants you unsettled, asking questions, and to show you that you really don't know everything. At first, it feels like maybe there's too much story that's being crammed in, and then the early twist reframes everything. And it becomes a cat and mouse game for Dennis about how much he can hide, especially when Rocky starts dating his co-worker, Marcy, Aisling Franciosi. Suddenly, we realize that Dennis and Rocky's connection wasn't as profound as Dennis wants it to be. That tension and the chemistry between Dylan O'Brien and co-star James Sweeney just leaps off the screen. O'Brien, though, is the showstopper. As Rocky, he's a mustached gay man, charming, slightly effeminate in his voice, with his swagger in denim that makes you see why Dennis falls for him. As Roman, though, he's all rough around the edges. His voice is lower, uncertain, aggressive at times. He hunches forward, gnaws on his bottom lip. The contrast between the two is electric, and O'Brien sells it with tiny details through his posture, gaze, and rhythm of speech. One standout moment comes after a hockey game road trip when Roman finally lets his emotions pour out in a hotel room, and it's so raw and vulnerable, and it's one of the best pieces of acting I've seen this year. There's also the impact that O'Brien has with very little screen time as Rocky, which sells the whole conceit that Dennis had fallen madly in love with him. But the film doesn't just live on performance. Sweeney uses deception, both of perspective and of character, to keep us hooked. Dennis is insecure, he's needy, almost comically attached to the fantasy of Rocky. He texts too much, he overthinks, he asks everyone for advice, from his purposely distant boss to the warm and witty receptionist Marcy, a fantastic Aisling Franciosi who meets Roman at a party and the two start dating. Sweeney's humor is so dry that it sneaks up on you, like when he schools Roman on lemons versus limes, or when he calmly points out at a fight after the hockey match that another guy's coming up behind you without actually involving himself. He's awkward and oddly magnetic, and it's Dennis's deception of Roman and also his mother, played by Lauren Graham, that hits hard. Dennis is not for everyone, but perfect for someone. The emotional anchor of the film is the night Dennis and Rocky first met. Sweeney stages it beautifully. Dennis is eating alone at a restaurant when Rocky strikes up a conversation. They end up in bed together in various stages of sexual intimacy, and between questions about being a twin, moments of fluid gyration, and pillow talk framed under the sheets, there's this feeling that the night shouldn't end. It's beautifully captured to set up the entire film that rests on this tender moment. Dennis later sums it up to Marcy. It was 8 awake hours and 4 sleep hours. That balance of intimacy, equal parts humor and softness and shared presence, lingers through the entire film, even as Dennis starts to transfer those feelings onto Roman. There are moments of levity. Dennis and Roman stuffing marshmallows in their mouths, laughing uncontrollably, that cut hard into deeper, rawer conversations. That rhythm mirrors grief itself. Waves of lightness followed by crushing sadness. Roman's regrets weigh heavy for calling his brother a slur, for not being there for the distance he can never make up. And the film never cheapens that grief with humor. Instead, it balances them in a way that feels real and human and profoundly moving. So where do I land? Twinless is one of those rare Sundance discoveries that actually deserves the hype. It's anchored by a performance from Dylan O'Brien that's a career best. Sweeney directs with confidence, blending the humor and the sadness into something that feels genuinely alive. Put it on your watch list, because Twinless isn't just one of the best films out of Sundance this year, it's one of the best films of the year, period. You've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like, subscribe for all the latest reviews, and I'm dying to know what you thought of the film. Drop me a comment below. See you next time.